So the mentality that I have when it comes to practices is you make these your races, and then when you get to race day, you just execute. Okay, not execute, but like execute the race, right? Well, yeah, you can do that too. But yeah, make the hard work here, and then when you get to race day, it's more fun. It's more you just thinking about the race. You're doing your job. Everyone in the boat has a job to do. Seat 1 all the way through seat 6. Everyone has a specific job. All that stuff you work out here, right? Race day, you just do your job. Okay? Like I've said it to a bunch of you guys before. You either love to win or you hate to lose. It's not the same thing. It's not. Okay? Loving winning is doing your job. If you win, you did your job, right? If you lose, you failed to do your job. That's the difference. Okay? That's the difference with that kind of mentality, and the mentality that you have to bring to the practice course, so you take that out to the race course. Okay? You want to have that confidence when you get to the race course that I'm just going to perform what we have on this given day, and let the chips fall where they fall, win or lose. Okay? But of course, you guys want to win. Everybody wants to win. Winning is fun, right? Go ask any kid, right? Kids all love to have fun. Ask any kid. Put 100 kids over here. Who loves to lose? Yeah. Not one, right? Okay, so everyone likes to win. So you have to work hard here to kind of achieve that kind of stuff. Okay, so today's whole thing is about intensity, pacing, and rhythm. Okay, who can tell me something about intensity and what kind of intensity you have to bring to race day? Anybody?
More intensity, but in line, in sync.
Like just to be together.
Yeah, everybody has to be intense together.
Correct.
To make it work.
You know what? That's a really, really strong point. Okay, so the intensity, today's workout, I'll give it to you all. I was going to cipher it down towards your student, but I'm going to tell you all the workout. It's going to be 6 8-minute pieces. Okay? We're going to do a ladder, level 2, level 3, level 4, and back down, level 4, level 3, level 2. And those are all at that level, right? With intensity. But back to what you just said, right? If you blend at level 2, that won't automatically, you'll blend at race pace. Everybody understand that? Because everybody's level 3, everybody's level 4s are all different. You know, like if I go 100%, my 100% might not look like your 100%. Right? So why is that important? If you do that on the race course, right? And like you're not giving 100% effort come race until race day, that's when things start to fall apart, and you start, you know, it becomes funky, and it's like a hiccup going down the race course. You have to work all that stuff out here. I'm a big proponent on working out with a heart rate monitor. Some of you have them, some of you don't. Hopefully most of you have it. I know when I first started, I didn't have one, but like I found out how important of a tool it is, because what you perceive in your mind as how hard you're pushing is guaranteed not where you're supposed to be. Most people work out in the comfort zone. If you don't have something telling you, look, you're too low, you think you're level 3 and 4, or you think your race pace is, you're going for it when you truly might be hovering in your level 3. Okay, so when you're doing race pace stuff, which is level 4 and higher, that's where like short, quarter mile, half mile, even miles, you're still kind of in level 4. You're not like cruising in level 3. You have to make sure that when you're out on the practice course, you're hitting that, okay? And you won't know unless you have a heart rate monitor. Now, how do you find out if you don't have a heart rate monitor where your levels are? Does anybody know? Does everyone know where you need to be at as far as how you're feeling and your perceived effort if you don't have a heart rate monitor? Anyone?
Sweating, breathing heavy.
Perfect. Okay, so this is how I like to say it. You level 1, you can sing a song. Okay, like you're out there doing level 1. That's like your warm up. You're just leaving the beach. That's level 1. Okay, level 2, you can still nose breathe. You can talk amongst each other, right? You can talk in the boat, which I don't like people talking in the boat except 6 and 3, whoever's calling. But you can that's your effort, your perceived effort. You can actually talk and like nose breathe only. Okay. Level 3 is like it's half-half, nose breathing and mouth breathing. Okay, it is where your level 3 is. Okay, you're starting to gasp for air, but you can still occasionally breathe through your nose. That's where level 3 is at. Okay. Once you hit level 4, it's mouth breathing only. You're sweating, right? Breathing heavy, right? But only mouth breathing, no talking. Okay, you're going for it. This is your race pace. This is where you should be. Nobody should be able to be talking story in your level 4. Yeah. Level 5 is batshit crazy. Okay, it's like you're going for it. You're gasping. You can hardly catch your breath. Okay, a true level 5 can only be done for 10 seconds. Did everybody know that? If you're doing a 30-second level 5, you're gonna fall into level 4. Okay, because level 5 can only be done for 10 seconds. It uses a different energy system from everything else. It uses this thing called ATP that is only there for 10 seconds. Yeah, that's a true 5. So if you got a minute level 5 or 30 seconds level 5, you're gonna fall. You cannot sustain that for higher than that. So when you do level 5 workout, and this is for coaches as well, yeah, it's good to stick to that 10 second and under and call that your level 5. It's good to think about that because you're pushing that much harder because it's a shorter period of time. We're not doing any level 5 work today, okay? But when you guys are doing starts, okay, like if you're doing a start, your 1 change, maybe even 2 change starts, not quite 2 change starts, 1 change start is a true L5. Okay, it's where you build up muscle and like your body produces different things that sustain you to give yourself the power to do that. Okay, that's where you want to be in your L5, is pushing that hard. I can only do this exercise for 10 seconds. Okay, that's where you get explosive power. That's where you get, if there's a bump in front of you, I'm gonna get that bump because I'm gonna push hard for 10 seconds or less, right? But level 5 you cannot do for 30 seconds to a minute. Impossible. Okay, you fall into that level 4. Okay, I like to say that your level 3, I'm gonna pay real big attention to how fast your boats are moving today at L3. Okay, I'm gonna pay close attention because that is where I like to say is like the bread and butter. If you're fast in L3, you're fast everywhere else. You're fast in L2, you're fast in L4. If you're fast in L3, okay. And what is L3 again? If you don't have a heart rate monitor? Nose occasionally, mostly mouth breathing, right? Slightly out of breath. That's where you have to be. Okay, that's your cruising zone. That's where if you're in a distance race and you're in Lilio or the race around the Poly, okay, that's where you want to be, like that high level 3 and moving fast at that level. Okay, so that L3 is super important. You're going to do 2 sets of each, right? Level 2, level 3, level 4, and back down again, 4, 3, 2. Okay, but I'm paying close attention, and you need to do that as well in the canoe, to pay close attention when you're in not just that level, but all levels, but figure out your speed. Hopefully somebody in your boat has a speed coach or a GPS on them. We'll be on the boat, but we'll be following different boats. But we'll be able to see based off of just how you finish within that 8-minute piece, how fast you guys are moving. Pacing for every crew is different. Okay, I just worked with you guys, and we work pacing. Okay, the bigger the crew, the slower the pace. Everybody understand that? The bigger the crew, the longer the distance per stroke, the slower you need to bring your pace to be efficient. Okay, the lighter the crew, the higher the pace. No one will have the exact same pace. Every crew will have different ones, but it's important to play with pacing, right, for individual crews to maximize speed per crew. Everybody understand that? But that falls back onto intensity, because if you're working intensity with no pacing, those are 2 things that need to coincide and work together. Okay? You can't do one without the other to maximize speed. I did that a lot with you guys. We work pacing and intensity. Yeah? Bring the stroke up a little bit. Sometimes it's up 2 beats. Sometimes it's 2 strokes a minute. We're bringing it up. Sometimes it's 4 strokes a minute. But 2 strokes a minute might make 1-2 seconds difference at the end of a quarter mile. And what does that mean at states? 5-6 places. Okay? Especially your guys' stage. Shit. It would have been 3rd, 4th, right? In the senior. So, like that's how important the pacing part is. So if you get comfortable, I'm only gonna do this 60 strokes a minute or 64 strokes a minute. If you get a little uncomfortable and you're working 66 or 68, listen up, steersmen, because this is where you guys come into play, steersmen, that you guys are playing with these things in your crew on a day-to-day and find out exactly what works for your crew, right? You need to be working these things all the time and then dial it in, and then when you get that magic number that you like, okay, we're freaking flying here, this is it, this is the one. You lock that in and you keep your crews accountable to stay there and train there so that your intensity comes up to the pacing. Does that make sense? Am I losing some of you guys? No? Good. Lost that chicken. Okay. Don't paddle harder. It makes things worse. Okay. If the boat is not running good and it's discombobulated, back everything down. First off, somebody in boat needs to say something, which I put a lot on your collar. It's not your steersman has the hardest freaking job. Okay? Your caller is the one that should be the field person in your boat. The field person that has a good voice that can like if I'm making a change, we're going for it. Or if I say something, everyone's gonna respond. Let's go, you're coming with me. That's the kind of person you want in your C3. You don't want your C3 to be you don't want the timid C3. You want somebody who's like that chicken. You want somebody right? Like you want somebody like that. Like, okay, so somebody has to say something as far as if the boat is not running. All right, guys, let's back it down a little bit. Let's find it. Let's find each other. Okay, when it starts feeling good, all right, feels good, gang. Let's bring it up. Okay, but communication in the boat, but not 1, 2, 4, 5. Everyone talking. Should be 3 or 6. That's it. Okay, that's the only people who should be talking in the boat. Okay, so that's intensity and pacing. Okay, so what's the difference between pacing and rhythm? What would rhythm be?
Altogether rhythm.
Altogether, yeah,
Smooth.
yeah.
Smooth movement.
Anybody else?
Not misfiring.
Steady. Okay, that's rhythm. That's all correct. Okay, you can go 62 a certain way, and you can do 62 a different way. You can do 62 by having a slower pull and a quicker recovery, or you can do a 62 going quick through the water with a slower recovery, or slow through the water with a quicker recovery, right? And still do 62, or you can flip that and go opposite and go quick through the water with a slower recovery. Upwind, downwind is different. That's what my crew does. Like if we're going upwind at the harbor, we're switching it up. It's not exactly the same. Okay? We're going long through the water, quick to the front. When we're going downwind and there's surf, we're going quick through the water. We're floating the recovery and reaching because we're surfing. And we want to surf on the downwinds. Yeah. It looks like everything will be at the harbor unless you guys have any regattas down here. I don't know.
The calendar has
They're letting you guys race it. If your stroke rate per minute, if you're doing let's make it an even number. If you're going 60, you can do 60 by going. That might be a 60, or you can do a. See how different that looks? Okay, that's both 60s, right? Same thing, but that's rhythm, and that's the rhythm that you have in your boat. But it's important, no matter what you do, you got to do it smoothly, and you got to do it together, right? And you have to communicate that, because if you start doing it, nobody else starts doing it, then you're all messed up. Okay, that's why C3 super important, right? C6, the hardest job in the world, right? You gotta do everything, but you shouldn't depend on your 6 to always be the one critiquing the crew. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they can say, oh well, top hand maybe you know, like you're a little off or timing or whatever, C3 shouldn't have to be the one saying that, but they should be the one communicating if the boat feels good or not. C3 is like your hype man in the boat. Okay.
So you have a.
So the intensity, the pacing, and the rhythm are going to be worked on. I want you guys to be working on that, going out and then coming home and finding in your own boat what works best for your crew. Okay? Like, it's impossible for me to follow however much boats are going to be in the water, right? And to find speed on each and every one of you guys. But hopefully somebody in the crew has a GPS that you can actually see what's going on. Okay? And the pieces are long. They're going to be 8-minute pieces, so you can change stuff up in between. Okay, so if you're going and the boat feels good, try bumping it up a little bit. You know, as far as upping the stroke rate just a tiny bit. I'm not saying go full on Pinay all of a sudden, but you can bring the stroke rate up a little bit, right? And not have to raise your effort along with it. You can actually bring the stroke rate up and still go same effort, and the boat is going to respond. Everything you do in the boat is going to make it respond either good or bad. But you got to try different things and not just be stuck on one thing and expect things to get better. That doesn't work that way. And like what Polly said earlier, right? If you're not working out just as much outside the boat as you are inside the canoe, then you're kind of missing half of the workouts that you should be getting. You use the time outside the boat to get in shape and get fit, and then you spend the time inside the boat to blend and work on all those things that I just talked about. You know, all your pacing and stuff like that. Okay? Even when it comes to course, yeah? Like if it's a quarter-mile course or a half-mile course, where states is here? I don't even know. Okay, quarter-mile course, okay? It's Kihei Lagoon, right? Kihei Lagoon, notoriously faster. It's a faster course. You even have to figure out the race strategy for that. Luckily, Kihei Lagoon is similar to this in times. Like, it's pretty close, right, Kavich? Your fast times here is almost the same as Kihei, right? So this is when you work. It's a prime opportunity for you guys to work your all of that stuff that I just talked about on this course to prep yourself for states there. Like if you go to Hilo or if you go to Hanalei, sometimes they run half-mile courses, right? Hanalei is like they do half-mile courses over there sometimes. Well, those courses run different, yeah. So you have to train differently. But yeah, I think that's it. That's all I got for today.